Okay, so now this is our lining. Now when you're through, we now do the sewing. Now to sew, we'll sew the neck, we sew the neck round. You now sew this side, you now sew this down, sew this other part, then you now sew the armhole. The only point where we are not sewing is this shoulder slant. Take note. So you're sewing from the neck round down to the armhole, but you're not sewing this shoulder slant. So let's do that now. Alright, so now this is the sewing. Now I'm sewing the neck. This is the neck. We sew the neck round. We sew this neck round. Maintain the same. Then we now sew this other side. This is center front. Okay, now if you take a look, you notice that the fabric is bigger than the lining. So what you do is at this down part, you make sure both are equal. So you hold it like this. Then you hold it from this point, just the way you do your normal twist. So you now sew. You hold it again, you make sure that this edge, both of them are equal. So we'll sew this down to the end. Sewing the parts. Alright, so we're through with the sewing. Now when you're through with the sewing, you put notch at this cuff point, put your notch. They also do the same thing all round. Then you now turn this from this armhole. So we're turning this from the armhole. Alright, so when you're through, you now iron everything down. Iron this neatly. So this is okay, so you iron everything neatly as shown. Okay. Alright, so you now do the same thing for the second part as well. Okay, so we're through with our front now. These are two fronts. We're through with this. So we'll now keep this aside. Now this is the back. Now the back, now this is the lining and this is the main fabric. This is the wrong side facing you. So what to do is this. Now we'll place this. We'll sew just this neck alone for the back. We'll sew the neck alone. The neck alone. Then we'll now this down part. We'll also sew this down part. Now we'll sew this down part. We'll start from somewhere here and stop somewhere. Then we'll now skip. Take we're sewing from here. Maybe we'll stop here. Then we'll now jump at least 4 inches and continue from here and stop here. So let's do that now. Okay, this is the back part. We're sewing the neck. Take note that the lining will be at the down. We're sewing the neck alone. The neck alone. This is the neck alone. Trying to sew the neck. Then when you're through sewing the neck, we are sewing the down part. Now the down part, this is the down part. Now like I said, you take a look, you notice that both are not equal. You make them equal. So you sew just a 1/4 inch. We're sewing just a 1/4 inch. You stop there, then you now jump at least 4 inches. Then you continue the sewing and sew from here and stop at this point. Alright, so now it is now time for us to do the main joining now. Now, please take note that this is your lining and this is your main fabric. Take note, the good side to good side should be facing each other. Take note now. We now pick one of this. We now pick one of this. We now pick one of this. Alright, so it's now time to join. It's now time for us to join. Now, this is one part. This is one part. Now, the armhole to the arm. So we now open this. We already sewed the neck point. So we now open this. Now open this. Take note. We now open this. The back. Then now bring this in. One of the parts. Now bring it. Take note. Good side facing each other. So we'll now place this at the shoulder point. Now fix this. Then we'll now sew 1/2 inch to the armhole point. So we are putting this and we're sewing 1/2 inch to the armhole point. So close this. Take note in between. So we're sewing this. We're sewing this. Now when you get to this end, you will notice that now when you get to this end, you notice that the center from the front panel will be shorter. So we'll sew this, then you now turn this, the armhole point. Now you now shift the armhole of the front panel away because we've already sewed it, so we shift it away. Then you now sew just the armhole of the back and its lining. Take note, we are sewing the armhole of the back and its lining alone at this point. Armhole of the back and its lining alone at this point. So now we are sewing down to this point. Now when you get to this other point, you now sew the three together. Take note, this other point, you now bring in this part here. You now bring in this part, the side of the front and this one together. You're sewing the three now together now. So we are sewing the three together. Take note, the three, this is the side now. So we are sewing the three together. So that is what I want to do now. So we are sewing the three together. Take note, the three now. These are sewing these three together. So 1, 2, 3 together. So sewing this, sewing this. So we are sewing the three together now. This one, this other one here, this one here, it will elapse at that point. As you can see, this point here. So you hold these three at this down part together. So now sew this to the end. Sew this down to the end. Okay, so we are through with the other part now. The second part now, in case you didn't get the other part now, the second part, you open this. This is your back and its line. So you open this armhole, you open this, then you now bring this in between the two. You now place this at this shoulder point, then you now close and you sew 1/2 inch. So you close that, then we are sewing. So watch, so we are sewing the same 1/2 inch. We are sewing the three together. Now you take a look that you notice that the front panel will be shorter. You sew. Now when you get to the end where the front part, you stop there. Then you now remove, you shift this out. Take note, you shift this out, the armhole of the front panel, you shift it out. We now sew just the armhole of the back and its lining alone. So we're doing this now. This is the armhole of the back and its lining. Then when you get to this point, you now bring in the front panel. When you get to that point, you now bring in the front panel. From that armhole, you bring in the front panel. This is it. So you now sew the three together now. So you now close this. Then we now sew the three together from this point to the end. So now do that now. Okay, so we're through with the sewing now. You will notice that the armhole will be squeezed, so don't worry. We'll just put a notch all through. All the cuff point, you put a notch all through. So that's what we're doing. We're putting a notch all through. Okay, when you're through, you turn everything from this point that we skipped. So we're turning everything. When you're through with all the notch, so we're turning everything from here now. Everything we're turning from here. Okay, so I've turned everything from that point. So now iron everything neatly. Now remember, we said it is a reversible. Now as you can see, there is no sewed point here. That is why we said it's a reversible. So you can decide to use this. You can decide to use this. There is nothing, or you can decide to use this. So now this point here that we turned from, so we now put hemming gum. If you have your hemming machine, you either use your hemming machine and you hem this part, or we make use of hemming gum. So I'll be using my hemming gum at that part. So I'll put as many as possible, then you sprinkle water on it and iron very well. So let's do that now. Okay, so this is the end product of our kimono jacket. Alright, so like I said, it's a reversible kimono jacket. You can decide to turn the back side. So once again, you're watching PJ Collection Clothing online class.